Hello and welcome to the
Donkey Kongu
podcast. I'm your usual host, Joe Scorn Brayson. I'm joined here on my right by Tony Tonzidotty. Give us a wave. If anyone asks, his name is Tony. It's ice beside him. We just can't show him on Twitch.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
I've got like a voice modulation to
He's
make me
definitely
sound
not
completely
live streaming
different.
on an RV right now.
No.
No. Yeah.
I like my disembodied hand though. I'm a huge fan.
I've lost track of. I'm shitposting too hard. We were playing Donkey Kongu because apparently Donkey Kong in Japanese is Donkey Kongu.
Donkey Kongu.
But let's get right into the nudes, as Keemstar would say. So we just
I feel like Keemstar wouldn't say that. Well, he might do now actually.
He would.
But okay.
Keemstar's a living meme. Say this. Every time I talk about Keemstar on this podcast, I get somebody come in and ask me about Keemstar, and I don't know why.
Some random guy.
Every time. But anyway. I'm just setting up the chat so I can see.
Right. Okay. I was going to ask, but I didn't want to.
Anyway. So the first thing we just want to mention is that unfortunately Totalbiscuit John Bain has passed away. We wanted to do a quick eulogy. He was a big inspiration to, I'm sure, both me and Tony.
Oh, me.
I think it's safe to say that without the inspiration from John's YouTube videos, the Game Station podcast, the Co-optional podcast, this podcast would not
almost
exist
everything
today.
that he did, I was inspired by at least. Like,
He
the StarCraft
he
stuff.
touched so many communities. Like he touched the World of Warcraft community, StarCraft community. Like he touched like the Warframe community.
Did Hearthstone as well for a bit as well.
Hearthstone as well. He actually Rekful was talking about yesterday. He shoutcasted him missing Lethal at BlizzCon, and he said he was nice about it. You know, like League of Legends, he had an item named after him as well. Like he impacted a lot of communities, and it seems like since his passing, everyone's just had nice things to say about him because of the huge impact he had on the gaming community.
He's like so honest that like even the bad things he would like bring up almost immediately anyway and like deal with it. So like the bad things are already out there basically because he dealt with them. So.
But basically, now that John's gone, if you're wondering what will happen to the co-optional podcast, basically about a month before he passed, it was his wife made a post on the official Cynical Reddit and said John's going to step away from doing the podcast and making videos, and he just wants to spend his last time with his family. So he's just been spending time with his family, playing games with them. He recently, before he passed, he had surgery to alleviate some of the pain, and it was successful. Unfortunately, not long after that, he did pass away. So, quite sad. But I'm glad that the last month of his life, he was able to spend with his family and not focusing on trying to push himself to keep working on making videos.
I think we both agreed that we were all expecting it to happen, but we didn't expect it to happen.
Speaking of like his impact as well, like he's literally like one of the faces of Twitch when it comes to like he is like the lull emote on Twitch. Like there's the faces of Twitch, like the lull. He was the unofficial face of Twitch for a long time when it was on Better Twitch TV and then officially got moved over to a real emote. The Billy Harrington passed away recently as well, and
Bob Ross as well.
Bob Ross passed away a long time ago.
But I was saying that all of the faces were either dead from the start or they're now gone this year.
But hopefully we don't lose Trihex. Because Trihex is a really cool guy, and we can't lose another face of Twitch.
No.
But yeah.
Not anytime soon anyway.
I thought I had to mention this but just because if you want to support Totalbiscuit's family in time of need, you can. There is a GoFundMe for them, which you can help them out. So I thought I'd just show that because honestly, ever since I made this podcast 2 years ago, it was Totalbiscuit that inspired me to do it. Without the Game Station podcast, the Co-optional podcast.
I think my original YouTube channel was based upon Totalbiscuit as well. So
anyway, we'll move on to the gaming news. So this week I've been playing the Oculus Go, which is basically the brand new Oculus VR headset. It's like a portable version, so it just comes in a box, and you have the headset, and it's completely wireless. My brother's father-in-law just purchased one because he's an investor in a VR company.
Oh, okay.
So he was trying it out, and it's a pretty cool experience. You get like this little. So I love looking at stock photos of people playing VR because it's the funniest thing ever. So if I'm talking about VR, I'm probably gonna have like a stock photo of someone playing VR up on the screen.
I think from experience as well, watching people play VR when you have no idea why they're doing what they're doing is also funny as well though.
Yeah.
That's also a great
It's
laugh.
funny
I would recommend it.
It's funny to watch people play VR.
Yeah.
I think my brother he made a video of me like playing Budget Cuts and I'm just like crawling on the floor. Speaking of Budget Cuts, I think it's the 27th today. Budget Cuts comes out on the 29th or the 30th, so the full game comes out in a couple of days. It was delayed. It was supposed to come out a bit earlier, a couple weeks earlier, but it's been moved back, and they said that they wanted to make sure the game was finished.
Get rid of all the bugs.
Yeah. So hopefully, I'm definitely going to play that as soon as it comes out. I'll have to, because me and my brother, if you've seen previous podcasts, you'll know Dan, and his father-in-law, we will get together and we'll play some VR games.
Is there a dedicated place you can do that, or do you have to still move stuff around?
My brother has a room in his house now. He's
got a VR room.
Well, it's like his office.
Yeah,
and he has VR set up there.
Okay.
So I'll be as soon as the Budget Cuts come out, I'll be back on the podcast and I'll talk about playing the full game of Budget Cuts. I'll probably play SUPERHOT VR.
It's been an anticipated game for quite a while now.
And but what's that? Beat Saber. Oh, that looks so much fun. My brother said it's really cool. I really want to play Beat Saber. But speaking of the Oculus Go, basically there's like a little controller. It has it doesn't have 3D motion tracking, but it has like tilt tracking.
Yes, it doesn't. The headset have you can look, and then everything else is done by all the other two motions are done by the controller.
The headset has 360 tracking, so you can look left and right and behind you.
Yeah, it doesn't do up and down.
It doesn't do room tracking.
Oh, okay, right. So it still does up and down though, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, and it's kind of like literally the software on the Oculus Go. It's pretty much just like an Android phone strapped onto your face, basically.
With two screens.
Yeah, with two screens. Yeah, it's that's kind of the level of technology you're gonna have. So I think it's £250, but it's going to be more for VR videos, VR Android games. I played one of the apps my brother's father-in-law downloaded, and it was what's it called? Temple Run.
Oh right.
One of those auto scroller runs, and you just move around and in VR. And I was immediately as I started moving, I was nope, I'm going to be sick. Got to turn this off because. You do not want to do movement without room scale. Yeah, so it makes you feel incredibly sick.
I think room scale is very important for movement. I agree. I don't think you can do it at all without it.
But I would say it's a pretty cool experience. I think this is definitely going to be the VR headset for watching videos, basically.
You watch all your YouTube videos.
All the YouTube videos. I think.
Sorry.
Realistically, this is the headset for VR porn, basically.
Oh, okay.
I think this is what it's going to be used for. I think there's probably going to be a big push for this. I mean, I think people have already been doing it with Google Cardboard. But is there strapping your phone to your face? This is basically just.
Is there a Pornhub spray print on this yet? Though that's what I want to know. No.
It's Facebook. Oculus is owned by Facebook, so I don't think they do that.
Well, is there a third-party option where you could go in and go, right, I want my Oculus Go spray painted, please?
Probably with D-Brand or something, I don't know.
Right, well...
I don't know if D-Brand does VR headset skins.
I hope one day they will. One day they will. If they don't, they will. We'll get in contact.
But that's pretty much because my father-in-law, my brother's father-in-law, I'm not getting my brother is. His company was looking into music videos or going to concerts and recording them with a 360 camera.
Oh, okay.
And then using that.
Yeah.
You can be a recording of Paul McCartney like playing the piano, and then you could put this headset on. You could be like next to Paul McCartney playing the piano,
as if you were
were there, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah, that's. I think that's been really useful because the price range is like there, so like a lot of people can get this.
I did play I played like a Jurassic Park like video game where you like it's not like a video, it's more like a video, so you like look around like the new Jurassic Park
video thing.
Not really interactive. It's literally just like it's like Universal. It plays like a video. And you kind of just look around the park as these dinosaurs walk around. I did play a game which was like it was like a shootout. There was like you could use pistols. There was like a sniper mode. Where you brought it up to like your face, and it's surprisingly good just for like tilt, like how it feels it's really hard to explain, but it's actually surprisingly good for just having to like move the gun around by tilting this little controller.
Right.
It's something I think that you're gonna have. I've always said this, but I think VR's it's always gonna be something you have to use to understand. Like it's one of those things.
Yeah, I don't think you could. Yeah. Well, even like when people like show like both screens or like just one of the screens, like I'm put a video on it, like it all doesn't like correlate to how you actually play it. Like, it's because like a controller is really easy to understand for me anyway. Like I can see someone use a controller, I'm like, oh, that's how you play the game.
But I did get a chance to use the Oculus Go headset for about half an hour to an hour, and I did think it was pretty good. I would say this is probably the general, market mass consumption.
With this is like the cheapest headset you would go. I for me personally, I think it's like the Google, what are they called? Like the cardboard thing? Not even
the Google Cardboard.
Not even as
the
a
Samsung
prank.
Gear VR.
Yeah, not even
as a prank.
Not even as a prank.
To be honest, it pretty much is just a phone strapped to your face.
Yeah,
basically.
but it's like dedicated to be like that though. It's not. You put it into something
like
to be that.
Oculus is like they've built the package for it.
Yeah.
You can just put this on and you instantly, you have the menus and you can download VR videos, or you can download like Android. I think it's running on an Android computer / phone sort of thing. And then you just go to the App Store and you can download any like VR stuff you want to play. But it's not going to be anything like, the full Oculus on a computer,
no, absolutely
or
not.
like the Vive. There's going to be like nowhere near that level of graphics, or there's no room scale.
This is all going to be like mobile GPUs at best, or integrated, or because like Vive and Oculus like all use your GPU to like massively increase.
But if you come home late at night, you put on your Oculus Go and you watch your YouTube VR videos.
Your anime waifu video.
Yeah. This is pretty much what it's going to be used for. It's a good package for £250. I think it's got to a point where it's consumer level, where mass consumption will increase.
Interesting, but like how is sound working though? You just have like a.
It does like the bone thing. So if you I'll take out my headset.
That's really weird.
Where it has like the sound coming out into like where it vibrates the bones to get the sound in. It kind of does that. So it goes around the headset.
Doesn't that make the sound like a little bit deeper though, or is it? Or do they?
I didn't notice
do
that.
They output the sound so they make it a little bit higher pitch.
I noticed there was a bit more leakage that way, because I think as well as the vibration, there's like speakers as well. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'd have to. I was like, Daniel was showing it to me, and I was like, oh, how long's the battery life? He's like, I don't know. I was like, oh, how. I kept asking him like loads of questions to try and figure it out, but he was basically borrowing it from his father-in-law while he was going on holiday over the weekend. Yeah. So, I can't tell you anything about like how good the battery is, how good wear and tear going to be, like how long is this going to stay in a good condition. But what I can tell you is like first impressions, kind of like half an hour to an hour of using it, and I think it definitely has a use. That use is going to be for, watching videos and touching your...
Donkey Kong.
Touching your Donkey Kong.
Why? No one calls it that.
Well, the kids are going to start now. We are influencers, Tony.
Yeah, number one influencers.
Speaking of... Actually, I think I've got Slay the Spire up next. This is another game I've been playing this week. There was a Humble Bundle sale recently, which had some really good deals on it. And I recently purchased Slay the Spire, and I think I have like Apparently I have 33.2 hours, and I purchased it last week, I think.
Wasn't that like a lot less yesterday? And then you played more
Yeah,
yesterday.
I had like 20 yesterday, and then I played it like... I just sit there and I go, I'm just going to do one run, and then...
This is your Civ game. This is
this is my one more turn game, basically.
Solaris is my one more turn game, and you've got this.
But I'll just play it. Basically, if you don't know what Slay the Spire is, it's like kind of like a roguelite digital deck building game. And you go into this dungeon and you have to build a deck while defeating enemies and try not to die before you get to the boss and try and defeat them. And every time you die, you lose everything and you start again. You're trying to climb this tower. I've beat it with one character at the moment. This guy, the fire guy, kind of like the warrior guy.
Okay.
I haven't got at the moment. There's 2 characters, and then there's a third in beta, which is the mage. And I think the mage is coming out onto the general release next week, which is really cool.
Can I say that the animations remind me a lot of Adventure Quest, and that's a good thing.
It's not got really anything to do with Adventure Quest.
No, I'm just saying like the way that like one side of the screen is like animates is very Adventure Questy to me. It reminds me of old good memories. Don't take that away from me.
Okay, but it's in early access at the moment. So as we always say with early access, purchase an early access game if it's in a state where you would play it.
I think that's true
as it is now.
Yeah, I think you should treat it like any game. If you're not gonna if it's not in a state you want to play it now, don't buy it. I think that's just especially for early access, because I know people are like, oh well, it might get better and like it has potential. It's like, well, you can't. I wouldn't buy it from that alone, unless you're willing to take that risk.
There's like lots of interesting stuff you can do in the game. So you, as well as picking up cards, you have paths you can choose. So I can go like, oh, I want to fight an elite. So if you fight an elite, they're going to be a really tough fight, but they're always going to drop a relic, which is really useful. But I'm like, oh, I'm on low health. I want to be able to get to the campfire. So the campfire, you can rest it and heal you, but you can also, it's like a double use, because you can also upgrade your cards.
Yeah.
Which like will either like increase the damage or decrease the mana cost,
so
or add an additional effect.
If you don't need to rest, you can.
And you can upgrade each card once. So you kind of have to make this choice between, oh fuck, I'm gonna die, or oh, I want to upgrade a card.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, a lot of the time I'm like, fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna upgrade the card, and then I have no HP, and then I die. But there's these unknown areas.
Right.
So these could be
anything.
These could be anything. These can be another fight. These could be normal enemies. These can be elites. These can be like an event where you turn into a vampire. I was telling you about. There's an event where you lose half your HP, half your max HP, permanently. But all of your attack cards get upgraded to bites, which deal more damage and then heal you. So you kind of completely change your deck to be this vampire playstyle where you're constantly leeching health from your enemies, which is really cool.
How does the treasure work then?
The treasure just gives you a relic, basically.
Okay, so you go on there, you get the relic.
And what I like about the relic system is there's a lot of good relics, but there's a lot of like relics that'll be like, if you're going to try and make a deck like this, take this relic. But with every reward you get, cards, relics, you can choose not to take them. Because there's some relics will be like, you draw 2 additional cards, but you're confused. So all of your mana costs are randomized. You get an extra mana every turn, but you can no longer pick up potions. So if you don't know, at the top here, you also pick up potions as you defeat enemies, and these help you. And you can buy potions from the merchant. That's another thing. As you kill enemies, you collect gold. And gold's another important factor you have to keep into this. This game may seem simple, but there's a lot of depth into it. You know, it's a deck building game, so sometimes when it goes, hey, here's 3 cards, sometimes I skip it because I don't want these cards, I want to keep my deck a bit thinner.
You want a thin deck.
But sometimes you want to make your deck a bit thicker.
You want a fat deck.
Fat dick. You want it thick. Because there's like an artifact card, because you can buy artifact cards from the merchants, which are powerful cards. They'll be like, deal damage based on how many cards you have in your draw pile. So if you have a lot of cards in your deck, it changes it, and it's really interesting. So currently there's 2 classes. There's the Silent, which is like a rogue class, which is this guy, which is mainly focused on poison, combo damage, adding potions to your hand and that sort of stuff, which is really cool. And then there's the first one. You don't originally unlock this guy. You have to play as I think it's called the Ironclad, which is like the warrior class, which is about, buffing your strength, dealing like, massive melee damage. And
Yeah.
you can also go for like an armor build where you just gain armor and then you deal damage based on your armor to people. And it completely allows you to play the game that you want to play, basically. It gives you all the tools to build the deck you want to build, which adds infinite replayability. Every time I end a run, I'm like, I want to play another run, and I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I've got this new idea for a deck.
If I can get this relic, I'm going to go for this.
Yeah.
And every time I stop playing after sitting there and playing for 10 hours, all I'm thinking about is, if I put this in my deck, I could build this crazy combo.
I guess it's got like the appeal of like the you want to build a deck, and then you also get to try and figure out how you play what you've been given.
Yeah. It's like...
So it's like the perfect between roguelite and deck building.
If you've ever played Hearthstone Dungeon Run, it's kind of similar to that, but much more in depth. Like Hearthstone's Hearthstone Dungeon Run would be like baby's first deck builder.
Yeah.
Or like Hearthstone Arena, but this is more like, this is a very in-depth deck building game, and I've been having so much fun with it. Like literally, like yesterday, I was like setting up the podcast, and I was like, I'll just play like one run of Say the Spire, and I just end up sitting there and playing it for like 10 hours basically.
So you went to bed.
But I was saying that we are influencers now, because recently we made a spotlight on Squeakers. So if you don't know, Squeakers is I'll get to their store page. It's like a building game where there's like a co-op mode where you're building with your friend and you're both trying to get to the top.
It's like anti-Tetris, but instead of different shape blocks do have different effects and like different
basically
attributes.
It's like flooding, and you're trying to get to the top without getting flooded on. There's like a co-op mode that we were playing on the demo, and then there's also a single player mode where it looks like it gets crazy at some point, and like meteors start coming from the sky, and you're in like hell, and you're trying to get to like this portal at the top, which is really fucking interesting. There's also bombs coming out. Apparently, there's loads of depth in this game as well. But I was setting up the podcast yesterday before I started wasting time playing Slay the Spire for 10 hours, and I went, how did I have the podcast set up beforehand? Because I recently reinstalled Windows, so I had to set up the podcast again. It's like, why does our Squeakers video have so many views compared to all the others? Like, do people just love Squeakers?
I mean, it's a great game.
But apparently, the dev of Squeakers, if you don't know, in our Spotlight video, we were complaining because there was issues with the gamepad mapping.
Yeah, because the keyboard stuff was really good.
Yeah.
And then I was having issues, like, just remapping stuff for the controller, basically. Because my mind was like, I wanted... What was it on an Xbox controller? Like A or B?
I wanted A to jump.
Yeah.
Because that's like the innate key for
jumping. For me, in my head, A is jump, or on the equivalent of X on a PlayStation.
The game was saying that it had full control support, I believe.
Well, that's what it claims, yeah. I guess it does now.
Full control support, but we couldn't get it to remap. It's kind of annoying. But the dev actually saw our video, and I was looking at the store page, and I was like, "Oh, he did an update for Squeakers," and he said he's fixed the gameplay button mapping, and it turns out he saw our video, and he fixed the issue and said thanks to this video. So apparently, Squeakers is now got gamepad support, which is really cool for custom button mapping, which means my only issue with the game is gone, so I've updated the description.
Yeah, I haven't bought the game yet. I do want to just play the game, and then I want to get through the portal to help.
So shout out to MCCQ3303 for fixing that issue, and thanks for linking our video. And we will look forward to we'll definitely be playing it in the future now this issue's been fixed. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But thanks for that. We'll move on. So if you don't know, last week we started a trailer section because there's a lot of stuff where we want to watch.
We want to talk about
watch and talk about trailers that have come out, and we also like being sued for copy.
Yeah.
Can we copy strike me?
Yeah, we definitely can.
Can we copy strike PewDiePie?
Do you think? I don't understand. Like, I feel like I've made this rant before.
Okay.
But why the hell would you copy strike? You make a trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, right, we made this trailer. The point of the trailer is that as many people as physically possible will watch this trailer, and they will talk about it and share it with more people, so more people will watch it.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you then put that into the system that then tracks copyright and then says, no, you can't play this and get money from this. This is our content. It's like, no, you've made this for free content for advertising, so you can show it to everyone. Why copyright it? Why strike people who want to play it? I don't understand.
It's just how Content ID works, you know.
Well, don't put it into the Content ID. It's that simple.
We'll watch this video. So, Rage 2, we talked about last week, was leaked by Walmart, apparently according to a bug. But they've actually released the trailer for it, and what's interesting to me is they pretty much completely changed the theme from a dark, gritty apocalypse world to a a colourful one.
I like the music. What's the name of the? It's like Andrew W something.
Sorry.
The name of the song. I can't remember who's.
I don't know the song.
Okay, I've heard it before. It's a great song. I actually really like the changes though. Like the old one, I actually do remember. I think I remember TV doing it on the original game. And I thought it was just really boring. This looks way more interesting.
I think I saw one video on it, but I never played it, and I just heard that it was like a mediocre post-apocalyptic shooter.
Based on the TV video, it's just like a mediocre driving mechanics, mediocre guns, and mediocre, well, not factions, but two different sizes.
Wait, worldwide gameplay revealed tomorrow. I haven't seen this.
I also probably get copy strike by the music that was played in that.
Oh yeah, but we don't monetize the podcast.
It's fine, yeah. I'm just saying that it's kind of annoying.
Rage 2 official gameplay trailer. We can watch this as well quickly. So we just saw the tone of the game. We were like, oh, this is kind of weird. But now we get to see
better than the old one.
We get to see what the gameplay looks like. It kind of reminds me more of Borderlands now.
A little bit, but I think.
Asteroid hit.
I think
Billions were gone.
I would say the sound effects and the way that the guns were shooting from the vehicles look way better than they were in the original game, from what I remember.
Alliances formed.
I'm not sure about those guns though.
Does this follow on from the first game?
There was no one left alive to tell you.
I know nothing about the first.
I don't remember the. I think this. You know how Mad Max is just the world's in ruin. I think it's just I think that's basically just it. The world is in ruin and then stuff happens.
This looks nothing like the trailer. This looks like it's just a dark and gritty world.
Sanity rules.
Nah.
This looks more like the trailer.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is gonna be a bait and switch.
This game looks like it's confused as to what game it is.
I'm interested to see more of it, but I'm okay with it being confused.
We want a dark and gritty world full of light, colourful characters.
I think they want a juxtaposition between dark things happening, but we want people to
What, kind of like Borderlands?
Yeah, they deal with this depression by having these crazy, vibrant things.
We'll definitely see more of this E3, which will be on next week's podcast, and it will be a week later.
It's this Avalanche Studios, isn't it? That's true.
Yeah, it's Mad Max people.
Yeah.
It's literally,
Isn't it also Just Cause people as well?
I don't know. There's been Avalanche Studio, the people who made Mad Max, which is another great game that was kind of similar to this, which is like a post-apocalyptic game.
But Mad
it's
Max...
working with id Software.
Okay.
To make this, which is kind of interesting.
I'm hoping id Software do the gunplay stuff.
Because they did a fantastic job with Doom 2016.
Yeah, exactly. They're very good for gun mechanics and just.
Seeing the cool desert post-apocalyptic world Avalanche was able to make with Mad Max, and then seeing the really cool tight gun mechanics that id Software was able to make with Doom added together, that makes me more interested in this game. I can look up.
When did the original Rage come out? Because I feel like that was 2013, right? Then Mad Max came 2015 or something, and then.
I'll have a look for you. Rage.
Yeah, I read it just. Streets of Rage. Yeah.
video game.
Uh,
2007.
oh really?
Tech demo shown in 2007.
I think it was released in 2010.
Okay, it was released in 2010.
I'm really confused. 2011 in the EU.
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember when they used to release like games later in
Oh, that's because they were
UK
because
and
they're copying films.
But it was to do with the fact that they wanted to release every time they wanted to release a game in the UK, they wanted to release it on a Friday.
Yeah, then like, in America wanted to release on a Tuesday
Or something like that, because that was back when physical releases were like the massive selling point of like video games.
I'm so glad we're past that.
Yeah, I'd much prefer the digital marketplace.
That's where like pirates just like there's like a massive round of pirates like the first 3 days like in Europe because of that.
Yeah, crazy. They did Just Cause 1 and 3.
They're Swedish.
And 2 maybe. It's obscured off.
They're in Stockholm.
Yeah, they full worlds with Just Cause and Mad Max as well. I recently purchased Just Cause 3.
Oh, you actually bought it in the end?
Yeah, because just on the Humble Bundle set, it was like 85% off.
Yeah, it was like £5 the XL
Just
version.
Cause 3 and all of its DLC was £5, or it's like £2 just for the base game.
That's definitely worth it.
Because if you don't, so recently from Humble Bundle had a big sale. I bought Slay the Spire, Just Cause 3, Genital Jousting, a great game.
I think I bought Genital Jousting.
We both bought it.
Yeah,
we might do a spotlight on it at some point.
In a few weeks.
Yeah. Because we've already got a couple of lined up. We need to wait for those demos to reach out to us and update their games.
yeah, that's what we're waiting for.
I'm waiting for that free copy of Squeakers so I can do another spotlight on it.
I'm just gonna buy it myself. It's great.
It's pretty cheap. It's like £1.
For what it is, it's like a great idea, and the actual campaign looks great. Going back to Squeakers.
Going back to Rage 2. I'm interested. I'm definitely going to want to see extended gameplay at E3.
The parkour effects things remind me of the Mad Max game, and then the open world kind of reminds me of Just Cause actually.
It says it's going to be open world.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the way that they have like different environments with the same, like the graphics remind me of Just Cause a lot.
What I don't understand. I'll pause it. What I don't understand is if you wanted to make a cool open world post-apocalyptic game. Why did you need to make it Rage 2? Why couldn't you made a new IP? Because no one's going to be like, oh, I remember that character from Rage 1. I don't think they even connect in any way.
No, not really. I don't think there's any... Was there any characters in Rage 1?
I can't comment on a game I don't play, but what I don't understand is why Bethesda couldn't make...
Well, they could have just made, like, we're going to make a new IP, we're going to push this really hard.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference? Yeah, I agree. It could be any... It could call this anything.
And then it didn't have to be... based on Rage or anything.
Maybe Alan just loved the name. And they just wanted to be a really good game, maybe. Because I'm kind of like that with like projects I do. I'm like, the first one I was shit, but I want to make the second one with the same name.
When I'm playing Game Dev Tycoon, I want to make Killbutt 2.
You want? No, but yeah. You make Killbutt 1 right, and you're like, it's gonna be great. Then it gets a 1 out of 10. Like, fuck.
I need to show the world the true beauty of.
Then
Killbutt.
10 years later, like, right, we're making another one, guys. Yeah. It's gonna be great. I like that. What is that? It's like a boomerang, like a tri-boomerang. That looks really cool.
There's mechs as well.
Yeah. I like the gunplay already, actually. That looks
this
very
is a gameplay trailer, but it's very clearly still cinematic Bethesda. I can see what you're doing.
Well, it's not a gameplay trailer. It has gameplay edited massively.
I think there might be some actual gameplay I saw from IGN?
Yeah. Well, the thing, I'll say this about all gameplay trailers, right? All of them are still massively edited, and you need to look at actual gameplay before you buy a game.
No, it's just that they've just released the gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
So we're still waiting for information about the...
Did Rage 2 just steal Borderlands 3's thunder? Yeah. No, maybe, but a little bit.
They said Gearbox said that our good friend Randy Pitchford said
our good friend.
I was thinking whenever I hear the word Randy, I'm like I think of like a cowboy. But
yeah,
he said that they won't be announcing anything about Borderlands 3 at E3, so this could steal the thunder, unless Randy's lying like he always does and goes one more thing.
He is
Borderlands 3.
He is a massive liar, though.
Apparently, no, I won't say. Anyway,
no.
Sorry, what was... Oh, so there was another trailer for Battlefield 5. So they're going back to World War II, and some people were upset about this trailer because it featured a female character with a bionic arm or a metal arm.
I don't have a problem with the female character, right? I have a problem with the arm. I don't understand. Also, I thought the trailer was a bit bullshit as well.
It was clearly very cinematic.
Yeah, it looks like an actual level in the game, which is something you have no control over. Also, she was very British.
Yeah, those British people find it more British.
No, like not like American.
Like trains from Overwatch.
Yeah.
British, where they have to make it a ridiculous stereotype so people know that they're from the
I always
country.
thought Battlefield was trying to make it realistic, and like I don't appreciate.
Hello, old friend.
Also, how realistic is tanks going through a... Like, why would you do that? Just go around. Just go around.
Battlefield's always been notorious for having the fully destructible Frostbite engine, right?
So they're just showing that off, basically.
Yeah, they definitely want people to know that.
That's fair. Okay.
They're going to be competing with... Call of Duty just did World War II, and now they're going to Black Ops 4, which will be releasing on the Battle.net launcher, as we predicted.
So this is just showing like, oh, we've got more.
Oh, and apparently, this is probably big news, but I forgot to put it down. Black Ops 4 is going to have a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, I think
as every game that will be released will.
I think everyone knows this is going to happen. They
recently, we had the Battle Royale wedding, and
oh,
since then...
Thanks,
I stole that, Jag. Since then, we're going to have 1 million Battle Royale games, or Battle Royale game modes. I think the Battle Royale game mode is it's just going to become a game mode that you have in games now.
Which I'm okay with, but...
It's like Gun Game was like a thing.
Yeah. Isn't there going to be like 3 versions of
Wasn't Gun Game like a mod on Counter-Strike?
I have no idea.
For the long... I don't know the original.
You're the expert on this.
The first place I played it... I'm going to look for the origin. There's a giant bump. Yeah, it was early Counter-Strike games.
Okay.
Where you would shoot someone and it would upgrade your gun and you'd have to cycle through all the guns.
Then it became the Call of Duty thing.
And then it got added to like Call of Duty and then it got added Battlefield. And instead of being like, this is a Counter-Strike thing, this is the gun game mod, it then became, it's a gun game mode in the game. So
I'm okay with.
As we get further and further along, it's going to be going from... they're ripping off Battle Royale till they're going to have a Battle Royale game mode, basically.
Yeah. I was going to say, isn't Call of Duty adding like 3 different zombie modes? Like, there's like I think there's a gladiatorial one, there's like a old like World War II one, and then there's like a modern one as well or something. So I know a lot of people do really like zombies. So, anyway, back to the Call of Duty's competitor. Is that a bus?
Personally, I've always preferred Battlefield to Call of Duty.
But I will say I like Call of Duty zombie stuff though. But I do actually really like zombies on Call of Duty.
So we kind of get some kind of gameplay here.
Why would you do that? Just why didn't you have ammo in the first place? How did you know to throw it to him?
Because he's the main guy.
Oh. I like... wait for it to come
throw
up.
grenades now. It's the future.
It's the future.
It's the future of the past.
I like
World War II.
Well, it's about to happen, I think.
Brilliant.
I like this. The rockets thing is really cool. I really like that. That's actually really cool.
It's pretty cool.
I don't understand why she's got a weird hand though. What's up with that?
It's just
also, this is very... You fuck it.
Did people walk around with a cricket bat with nails on it?
No. I wouldn't have thought so, but she seems to
Battlefield theme. I'm glad we got something.
Thank goodness.
But basically, some people were annoyed because the woman had like a mechanical hand that appeared to be like advanced bionics. Almost.
It seems way more advanced than what they had
They
there.
definitely wouldn't exist at the time, but my main question is, why does it matter? It's a video game. Who cares?
Because
that's the end of that topic.
Battlefield is meant to be the realistic thing.
Yeah, but they haven't said this is a realistic World War II game. They've literally just released a cinematic trailer. So
I think a lot of people who like Battlefield really like it if it's realistic as possible, though.
Well, I'm definitely going to check this out when it comes onto Origin Access in a couple of years. So
yeah.
There's a rumor apparently there's not going to be any loot boxes in this game, but there will be paid cosmetics.
Microtransaction.
So is this our last trailer or is this like the second last? This is our second last. So
penultimate.
Paradox Games has announced they will be making board games.
I'm not sure this trailer is useful in any way.
No, it literally them standing around going, "What is this? Is it VR? No, it's not VR.
No wires? Is it wireless?"
And then they go, "Look at our Kickstarter." So the Kickstarter, basically, they're turning their popular Crusader Kings franchise into a board game.
Which sounds amazing.
They started with a small goal of $42,000. They started with a small loan of $42,000, and they've reached $208,000 in funding already with 23 days to go, which is insane.
To be fair, I would honestly really want this as a board game. Like, I would never want to play the game, like the actual video game with it, but the board game I would play. I think
I'll show you the trailer quickly. The intro is really fun.
Mark on history. Computer game.
If you're interested, definitely check out. If you're a Crusader Kings fan or a board game fan, definitely check out the
3 to 5
Kickstarter.
players lead the historical dynasties of medieval Europe to triumph or downfall.
I've never personally been interested in Crusader Kings, but I've also never played it. So it could be
no. I think
something I've never tried.
For
that
me,
I could be interested in.
You've never played something like Risk or anything, have you? So
I'm
not saying it's like Risk. It's
I've
like,
played Risk once, but didn't play a full game.
The first step to victory
reminds me
is
a
to
little bit
rule
of
your
like.
dynasty. Choose your spouse carefully, as her traits.
I like the family tree stuff actually. That's what I really liked about this game. That's what I remember now. Yeah. I was gonna say like it's like a way more complex like Sellers of Catan in some ways. But I don't know. I'm trying to like compare it to stuff like really poorly. I shouldn't be. It's nothing like Sellers of Catan as far as I know. But I'm saying like the board game version looks way better than the video game version for me personally, and I'm actually super interested in it.
See, that's what I'm thinking. What are the differences between the video game version and the board game version?
Probably not much. Just that more things have made it easier for board game stuff. But I'm just saying I wouldn't want to personally play like. To me, it's like it's like made a mini map of like a really complicated like RTS game, and like this is the whole game. So that's not interesting to me. But as a board game, as a concept, that's really cool. So that's why.
Yeah, I'd be interested to try this out.
Like me.
Ooh.
We got our board game news. Paradox randomly decided to start being a board game company.
We haven't done board game news for a very long time.
My dad was like, "You still talk about board games?" I was like, "No."
Not
since Daniel left.
Yeah, he left us.
Not since he went up to heaven.
TLDR, Daniel's dead.
Yeah.
So
he's not dead. He's just getting married.
We didn't have a deep enough voice.
He's not dead. He's not dead. He's just getting married. He's dead to me.
Yeah, relative.
Anyway, if you're interested in that, definitely check that out.
I want to check it out.
Our last trailer is something I think is really fucking cool. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, what were the pledges like? What support stuff was like? Because I think that might be interesting for people to know. Like, what...
It's in Swedish crowns. So
if that's useful to anyone. Can we...
well, you might be able to translate it, but if you pledge 400 Swedish crowns, which is about...
Oh, it says for about £4.
About £40.
Yeah.
Because roughly 100 krona, 10 krona is about £1.
Yeah.
Really roughly.
But the bare minimum where you get nothing from it, you just help them out, I guess, is just £4.
A deposit for a minimum of 5 copies of Crusader King. What? Wait, they get 5 copies of this board game? It's a deposit for 5 copies.
They talking about the video game or they talking about the board game? Oh no, they're talking about the board.
Yeah.
They'll give you 5. Anywhere in the world.
It's like it's a retailer backer. So I guess the idea is that you're going to buy 5 copies to sell at your store. And then they want it to be Kickstarters to get all the copies and then later sell them on through their store.
Maybe, yeah.
Like board game stores.
I guess they don't want to just ship it to like loads of individual people, I guess is what they're doing. Which is fair enough, because that normally in a lot of Kickstarter projects is what causes like a huge load of problems and delays. So yeah, probably what they're trying to minimize.
So our final
But yes.
trailer is something I think is really fucking cool and is really needed in video games. It is the Xbox Adaptive Controller. So if you don't
At
know,
Xbox, we have a controller design that our fans love. However, for gamers
Xbox
with
have
limited
designed
mobility,
a controller
or
so
gamers
that
who don't
disabled
use both
people
their
can
hands,
still
this
use
controller design might not work best for
that still play video games.
Yeah, I love because this is like they made it like so it's like modular, so like different people with different types of disabilities can plug the correct thing that helps them in to make it work.
There isn't a one size fits all for
No.
disabilities. There's different things, different limbs have different problems.
On my entire right side.
It's kind of, kind of looks like a
This
drum
side of the
pad in a
controller
way.
is
Yeah,
Like the actual physical
yeah.
thing.
This side doesn't happen.
But I think this is really cool because I think everyone
As
should be
the
able to play
platforms
video
got more
games.
sophisticated.
Yeah, I think
It's
more,
really
more
cool.
people are able to get
And it
play if
started
that's all they want to play.
frustrating.
Then.
We designed the Xbox
This is
Adaptive
the actual
controller
controller.
through feedback
There's even got,
from the
like,
accessibility community.
Radio 1 News here in
Xbox Adaptive
England,
Controller
so
is really
it's
easy.
pretty popular.
So you can set up any button to do whatever input you
Yeah.
want, which is really cool.
Other devices, I can make it work for me the way it has to.
With the Xbox Adaptive Controller, a gamer can game with one hand and one foot, or one hand and their shoulder, or even one foot and their chin.
And I can
So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised it took this long for it to come out, but I'm glad that there's now like this modular thing.
Well,
you
they've
can
always
get stuff
been
for
like pushing for accessibility
Yeah.
and like options for like video games and other stuff like that. But it's really cool to see a controller come out
Yeah.
from a major creator of a video game console.
Yeah, it is good.
Which is pretty cool. We'll move on to quick news. So Rocket have made a Membranic keyboard. I was looking at this last week before we started and I was thinking, should I talk about this? But they've made the Horde Amio, which apparently is mixing the typeability of
Mechanical keyboard.
mechanical keys
Yeah.
with the quietness of
So I think
membrane
yeah.
keys.
So what I think they've done, from what I understand, is like it's like almost like half. Like when you push it down, it's like half mechanical, but then without clicking, it then does a membrane instead. So like you have the half feedback, I guess, and then
I also
soft clicking.
I also saw
afterwards.
about a keyboard on Tech Linked, which is the new show by Linus Tech Tips
Yeah.
about tech news. Apparently, there's one instead of using mechanical switches, it uses lasers for each individual key press,
Okay.
which I thought was like fucking insane.
I think that's been done before. And I don't think
'Cause
it was ever
apparently-
that great.
Apparently, it's like less wear and tear because you're using lasers instead of like actually
But I thought
physically
there was-
pushing down the thing.
There's still haptic feedback through that though. Is it still?
I don't know how it works. I'm very
Because surely there's still wear and tear from. If you want proper haptic feedback, there's still gonna be wear and tear from like actual mechanical processes. So I don't think that helps in any way at all.
But that was just a quick piece of news. I have no idea what it's like. I just wanted to say that apparently there's
It's an awful name for it.
a mechanical / membrane keyboard and it's called
Why can't you
Membranic.
Why can't we just call it mechanical membrane?
Because you got to synergy the words together
No,
to make Membranic
no.
keyboards.
I honestly think the word synergy to me now has like a massive negative connotation because people misusing it.
So Devolver's announced they're doing another awesome press conference. They will be on
Less try hard this time, apparently.
June 10th. They've got instant feedback and someone says, can we have a less try hard conference? The only people who found it funny had Pickle Rick t-shirts. So some people are upset.
I assume Jim has that t-shirt because he liked it as well.
I loved it.
I loved it as well. It was great. It was just like a massive satire of the entire thing.
June 10th, as I said, the podcast will be delayed until Saturday next weekend, as that's when Tony's next free, and then we'll talk about all of E3 on one single episode. Next week will be the E3 episode.
So we're not just like inside of the weird.
This is more VR news. Maybe I should have put this earlier, but Valve brings custom keybinds to Steam VR, letting VR apps support all compatible controllers. So the Vive controllers, the Vive trackers, the Oculus Touch, the Xbox One gamepad, the Windows Mixed Reality controllers can now all be set up with VR games. Use it on Steam VR. Users can upload and share their controls via the Steam Workshop. Similar to the Steam controller. So if you want a custom button layout that's more comfortable for you, you can now get that via the Steam Workshop. And this is another thing. If we're talking about the Xbox Adaptive Controller, this is really going to help people with physical disabilities experience VR as well. based on how it affects them playing VR, which is really cool. Accessibility is always a really cool thing.
I think
for video games.
Everyone has their own
experiences.
idea of how they want to interact with games and things. For me especially, I always completely different to how other people have it. So it is nice to have.
Move on to Battle Royale. Epic Games have said they will provide $100 million in Fortnite esports prize pools. Will Keemstar take all this money and run away?
Yes.
As Keemstar has recently been hosting the Friday night Fortnite tournament for a bunch of YouTubers and Twitch streamers.
I don't know why, but he is.
Basically, they tested out. So recently I played their competitive game mode or semi-competitive game mode where you played 50 games and you got a score based on how well you placed in every game. I thought that was a really cool experience because every time I went into a game, I was playing against very highly skilled players, and whereas normal Battle Royale games, you can play against a really good player or you can play a really bad player at someone's first game, and it's completely random.
Yeah.
But the idea of everyone I was going against, we would have massive build battles against everyone, and it was very fun to see, what would be like with a server full of really good players. Really cool. They said from 2018 to 2019 season, they will add $100 million to fund prize pools for Fortnite competitions. They want to get behind Fortnite esports in a big way, so that's really cool. I would like $100 million. That would be nice. But that just goes to show how much fucking money Epic Games is making off Fortnite skins. They must have made $1 billion in revenue. I swear to God.
I think they must have at least got that, right?
Well, if they've got
because the
10%,
yeah,
in a prize pool, then yeah, they must be making a lot. Anyway, speak quickly about they added jetpacks to the game. They've been teasing this for so long because they were like, we're gonna add jetpacks to the game, and then they were like, oh, it's bugged and we have to fix it, and they delayed it for a really long time, and they brought it back. And there was big community concern that they'd be too overpowered, and if I didn't have a jetpack, I'd be useless. So they've said that this is a limited time item. So at some point they will just remove this from the game. They don't have a time frame for that, but basically they want to add this to the game, let people have some fun with it, and then be like, it may be too underpowered, it may be too overpowered, but at the end of it, we'll remove it and we'll go back to balancing the normal game.
Wouldn't it? Could you not balance it by just making it have its own ammo type?
So the way the jetpack works, it takes up an inventory slot. It's called a backpack slot.
Yeah.
It has a limited amount of fuel. If you use it for too long without landing, it overheats. You can only go vertically up. You can't go horizontally, and it doesn't make you move faster going across the distance.
It's just upwards. Yeah.
And
it gives you vertical lift, but nothing horizontal directions.
And you don't carry momentum on it, so it's you can just kind of go up, and then you kind of have to stop, build, and then go up if you want to try and climb.
You can get shot quite easily still.
You can't shoot while flying either.
Yeah.
So you have to fly up, stop, and shoot while you're hovering in the air, and then go back to jump.
I'm just really curious why they want to have it limited time though. I don't know. I just think it'd be a cool thing to keep all the time, but that's just me.
But I think they were scared that if they released it and they were like, oh, this is too powerful, there'd be huge community backlash, because they previously released an item called the Guided Missile that people were complaining was too strong, and they actually removed it from the game.
Right.
And put it in what they call the Vault, which is all the items that are too underpowered and are just clogging up the loot table, or they think need a rework.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
So if they do remove it, they'll at least maybe one day come back to it.
I think it'll probably come back. They'll probably have an event. At the moment, there was the limited time game mode, which was shotguns and jetpacks, but they removed it temporarily because they said that there was a problem where people would just build sky bases and you wouldn't be able to get up there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of ruining the game mode, so they've added solid gold back. But I wanted to just talk about that quickly. I don't want to go too in depth in it because I do play a lot of Fortnite, but I understand not everyone wants to hear about Fortnite. So I'll just quickly mention it.
Some people think it's only for 6-year-olds, so you know.
Oof, don't shit talk me, Tony.
I'm only quoting someone who loves was it called the Heights game? The that closed down, Cynical Heights.
Radical Heights.
Radical.
Radical Heights.
Sorry, Cynical Heights, right? That's the name.
That sounds like a Totalbiscuit battle royale game.
No, I'm
that
saying
you need to make in his honor.
that's what Radical Heights is. It's just like a really cynical. Oh, our game didn't work. We're making it a battle royale game.
So Cliffy B has announced on Twitter the close of Lawbreakers and Radical Heights studio Boss Key Studios. Radical Heights servers will remain up for the near future, he said in his tweet. But in my opinion, in my personal opinion, this is me speaking now, the game was doomed to fail and will shut down.
It's Cynical Heights.
He worked at Epic on Gears of War for a very long time. He then moved over and made his own company, Boss Key Studios. He then made Lawbreakers kind of after the hype wave of Overwatch, and people went, oh, it's an Overwatch clone. He's like, no, I'm making my own game. It's like momentum and swinging and stuff. People like didn't want to play it. I think when Lawbreakers shut down, there was like 12 people on the servers. It wasn't very popular at all. Not to say it wasn't a good game or it was a good game.
It could have been a good game. I think it had issues there.
He then went fuck it, ditched Lawbreakers, and made like a very quickly rushed battle royale game that, in my opinion, was just complete dog shit. It was completely just shoved together with pre-made assets. I'm sure they made like a bunch of models, but it was pretty much just
a lot of it was
shoved together.
A lot of it was
really
either
hastily, and it just wasn't fun to play.
A lot of the assets were either hastily made and was like placeholders, or they were bought placeholders basically, and with a few things that were clearly made properly.
A lot of people were super pissed off, so they bought Lawbreakers and they just cancelled it to make a completely rushed and terrible battle royale game, which then ended up shutting down within like a month or so. So it looks like this is probably the end of Boss Key Studios, and we don't know about what's going to happen to Cliffy B.
Well, he's taking a break, isn't he?
Yeah.
For at least some time. I don't know.
Apparently Rec Room is making a Battle Royale shooter next month. So if you don't know, Rec Room is like the social kind of VR game where you can go and talk to people. It's kind of like VR chat before VR chat. But it also has like a bunch of fun game modes. I've played a lot of Rec Room because it's free to play, and like you can go into I talked about it in the podcast before, but you can go into like there's like a robot shooting game where you shoot robots, and it's really fun, and they have like a sword shields one, and now they're making a Battle Royale game, which is going to be really interesting. I just thought I'd quickly mention that at the end of the Battle Royale topic. But we'll move on to No Man's Sky. So No Man's Sky is adding multiplayer in July. Sean Murray went on to Inside Xbox after a long departure from any public appearances and was hyping up true multiplayer to No Man's Sky. We recently talked about an announcement where Sean said there will be an upcoming announcement in summer for a big thing happening to No Man's Sky. But I just want to say, remember, do not get hyped for this because
we don't know how good it's going to be. We haven't seen anything
about it pretty much, and you shouldn't get hyped for No Man's Sky again, even though it's made these very good strides in free updates, and Sean's been working on it, and you've played it.
Yeah.
And you seem to think he's made a lot of improvements to the game.
Things he's added is definitely massive improvements, but still needs to add more.
We'll have to see how multiplayer works, and if this is the true vision of what No Man's Sky is.
But I own the game, so I can check out the multiplayer.
Hold your guns until this comes out, and we can see kind of like what it's going to look like.
Yeah. He might be Sean Murray newing this and then overhyping something. Or it could be good.
About this. EA said they will push forward with loot boxes. They as we said, they pretended to learn that the loot boxes are bad, but they're going to continue to put loot boxes in their games. Apparently, Belgian Gaming Commission is prosecuting Blizzard. Who was it? It was EA, Valve, and Activision Blizzard over loot boxes in FIFA 18, Counter-Strike Go, and Overwatch. So they want to try and prosecute them. We'll just move on to 8 games have been added to Origin Access. We now have the most important one, of course, Spore. The original Spore is now in Origin Access, so you can now play that.
Ember.
Mad Max, Pillars of Eternity, Prison Architect, Tournament Ties with Numenera, Brother: A Tale of Two Sons, Virginia, and Ember. Some pretty cool games. Little piece of news here. SuperHot is getting a Japan-inspired standalone game. It's It's going to be super hot with samurai castles, bullet trains, and karaoke bars, if you're interested in that.
Can't wait.
They have also announced that if you were thinking they might add a VR version like the original SUPERHOT, at the moment, SUPERHOT Japan is not getting a VR counterpart for now.
Didn't the SUPERHOT VR version came after the fact anyway? So if they do want to do it, they'll maybe add it in later.
Yeah,
maybe.
Definitely could. We want to be talking about this for a while, but it keeps getting pushed back. But recently, a fan-made Halo PC patch was met by Microsoft's legal issues. It was the El Dewito patch, where Halo Online, which I think is a Russian-only Halo 3 on PC, was being modded to be able to play on outside of Russia and on like their own private servers.
Can you play? Can you still not play this outside of Russia legally?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know much about it, but the thing that interested me that was Microsoft was pushing back on the legal issues, and they were even going as far to DMCA Twitch streamers that were playing Halo Online on their streams. People were getting DMCA'd similar to WoW private servers, how Activision Blizzard will DMCA anyone who live streams private servers, as in a way they are promoting piracy, which is within their right and they have to protect copyright laws, but it's a shame that it has to come to this. But I think we're at the... there's a Peter... I'll do the Peter Molydeux tweet and then we'll end. So,
okay.
Peter Molydeux put out a tweet inspired by the new Battlefield 5 trailer, and he said, "Smart move from Battlefield 5 to add a prosthetic arm for a character. This will cut down on all the female hand animations that would have been required." So it was actually a 200 IQ 40 chess move from EA to give the female character a prosthetic arm, because that means that they no longer have to animate all of these animations. That was their plan all along.
It's cut down a little bit of money, so EA can make the money back from the loss of loot boxes.
But that is the end of the podcast. As always, you can check us out at the And Everything In Between podcast YouTube page. If you're watching us live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Scorn, and at Scorn2000. If you're already here, you're already here. But if I'm looking at the viewer account, you might not be, unless you're somehow a ghost in the shell.
In the shell script, yeah.
But we'll do a short one, and then next week will hopefully be quite a long one as we go over all the E3 release titles.
Probably going to be 2 hours again, like it has been every year, from what I remember.
It'll probably be like 3 hours, knowing me. But that's the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.